I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Welcome to the Make Movies Great Again podcast, the only show in the universe with the sole mission of destroying cynicism at the box office. Here are your hosts, Matt, Adam, and Sean.
Welcome to the Make Movies Great Again podcast number 32 for October 2nd, 2017. On today's show, we have trailers of the week, an update on the Tom Hardy Venom movie, Blade Runner 2049 early reviews, and we wrap up with a little Yippee Ki Yay, motherfuckers. You can chat with us on Twitter at Make Movies Great. Toss us a like on Facebook at Make Movies Great. And heart all our pictures on Instagram at Make Movies Great. Don't forget, this podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube. My name is Matt. Here with me is
Adam.
Adam.
And unfortunately, we are down Sean again this.
Yep, we're down to Sean.
We're down to Sean, but we recognize him right at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
We waited till the end last time, but we miss you, Sean. We'll get you back next week.
Yeah,
Also, this is episode 33.
Is this 33? Fuck, I didn't change that. God damn it. Episode 33. Holy shit. And also, I didn't proofread, and instead of saying Tom Hardy, I put Tim Hardy. Thank God I thought on the fly there and didn't say Tim Hardy, because that would have been bad.
That's fine.
So episode 33 for October 2nd, 2017. 33 episodes, and that's not including our movie clubs and our spoiler cast. So we're closer to 50. Past 50.
Definitely past 50.
Past 50 individual episodes.
We're doing a movie club for like 20 weeks now.
That's right. This is going to be the 20th week. Yeah. Holy shit. All right. We're moving right along. All right. Let's get into the first segment. Trailers of the week, which is actually just trailer of the week. Annihilation. But we're going to have a lot to say about this, I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do. I'm really excited about this. So Annihilation hit my radar not too long ago, and I found out it was a book. So I grabbed the book. It was only like 100 and something pages, like low 100s pages. But the book was really good. And the thing that I'm interested most in is to see the director, Alex Garland's like take on this forest that the story takes place in. Cause it's like, it's not your traditional forest. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And, so I'm really looking forward to it with like, especially because of what he did with Ex Machina. And I actually read an interview with him it was right when he took this movie, and it said something along the lines of he doesn't finish books that he's not interested in, and he doesn't finish TV shows that he doesn't like. You know what I mean? He'll just stop right in the middle if it's not doing anything for him. He'll just stop.
Mm-hmm.
But in this interview, he said that he read Annihilation in one sitting, which, I mean, it's only 100 and something pages, but it's still, for, I don't know, somebody who lives their life like that, I feel like that's an important piece of information that grabs the storyteller.
Wait, it's only 100 and something pages, really?
Yeah, it's short.
Really? Is it considered a short story, or is it considered a full novel?
I think it's considered a novel. There's 3 of them.
Okay.
And then he decided this book was going to be made into a film, like I think before the second one even came out.
Okay, cool.
Decided that.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good, and I'm excited to get more Natalie Portman action in my life, because I feel like I haven't seen her in a movie in so long. I never saw Black Swan. I
feel like I haven't seen her in a movie since like she started doing movies that are award-winning movies. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or like
I honestly like the last. What are the movies that Natalie Portman been in? I mean, I know her from the Star Wars prequels. Like that's what I know her most in. What?
V for Vendetta.
Oh right, so yeah, V for Vendetta too. But she'll always be Padme.
That's true. She will always be Padme.
That's the thing. I'm super excited for this, and I know you said that you want to go 0 Dark 30 on this and not see any more trailers, not read any more things on it, right? Until the movie comes out.
Yeah, I'm good with this one trailer. It got me psyched enough where, it pumped me up to finally see something that I've read, especially having to do with this movie, because I'm interested on how the director will build the tone of the movie. In Ex Machina, that you're nervous, like you're on your edge of your seat that entire movie. It's so unsettling.
Yeah,
I want to see that in this forest.
I really like.
I feel like if another trailer comes through, it might start giving away too many of the plot points. So
Sure.
I'm good.
I went into Ex Machina completely, absolutely 1,000% cold. Like I saw it at South by Southwest. I literally just that day, I think I decided I wanted to see this. I read the synopsis and I just got fucking in line for it. So, and I think that did wonders because that movie, and I hopefully it comes through in Annihilation too, because Alex Garland really, he pins all the characters against the viewer, like in a way that like you don't know. Like the tension gets built and like you're nervous, but you're not sure who you're nervous for and for what reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So like you're not sure, like, cause like Nathan is such a fucking weirdo in Ex Machina, right?
Yep.
I mean, spoiler alert, like he ends up not being like a total fucking weirdo, like in the way you thought. Like it ends up, and there's a twist and whatever. So I like that because it like builds this tension, but you're not sure where the tension's supposed to, like where you're supposed to allocate that tension in the worry and whatnot. So I like that. It's very confusing, but in a good way. It's the best way I can describe it. So yeah, super excited for this. I'm all about Alex Garland after Ex Machina. I'm assuming this movie will have another fantastic score because in my opinion, you can't beat a score like the one that he had in Ex Machina. It was amazing.
Yeah, it matched all the visuals perfectly,
Yeah.
and it set that unsettling feeling in the viewer's stomach. It really did.
Yeah. So
it brought it to life.
So I saw Natalie Portman's in it, obviously. I also saw Oscar Isaac. He's in it as well.
Yep.
But I did not see General Hux. What is his name? Shit. I know it. Domino Gleeson.
Domino Gleeson, yeah.
He's not in it? Do you know that for sure? I mean, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's not in it.
Yeah, I didn't see him. General Hux. Dude, honestly, General Hux is one of my favorite new Star Wars characters. I fucking love him. Dude, he's
a badass.
Dude, when
he's not a badass, but he's
I mean, he's to be reckoned with. He's kind of like I guess the Tarkin of like the new Star Wars. Like
I would say that.
Like I guess Tarkin wasn't really as outspoken and whatnot, and like Darth Vader put him in his place a few times. But Hux and like Snoke does the same thing kind of. But like Hux is a badass, and he like goes out and like when he's like when he's talking to like all the First Order stormtroopers on top of Starkiller Base, like that was fucking awesome. Badass. That was a fucking hell of a fucking monologue speech. That was awesome. He's addressing them. Yeah. So anyway. Annihilation. Check out the trailer. Alex Garland's new movie. That's all you really need to know. If you like Ex Machina, check this out. It looks weird as fuck. Let's go. Let's move on. First up, movie news.
Michelle Williams. Sorry, my phone went black. Michelle Williams is in talks to join Tom Hardy in Venom, the Venom movie. Who will she play? Who do you think, Matt?
So I don't know. So I honestly don't know many of the Venom universe characters that much. I know Carnage, I know Venom, but I know, isn't there like a lady Carnage? Like, what's her name? The one with the long hair.
Oh, I have no idea.
You know what I'm talking about? Hold on, let me look this up. I don't know, because the weird thing with this movie is we literally have not gotten anything except for Tom Hardy. Like, that's all we know. We know Tom Hardy's going to be Venom. That's all we know. We don't even know if Tom Hardy's going to be Eddie Brock in the traditional sense of Venom, right? We just know he's Venom, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I have no idea where it's going to fit in as far as Tom Holland and Spider-Man go. No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. I can't really look it up. I don't want to break you up because I'll end up messing up. But anyway, I don't know who she's going to play. She could play, I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, it's weird that they're kind of bringing on people now. I'm sure that they're just doing a good job of concealing it. It's just weird that they're this far along with, like, they have Tom Hardy. Like, they must have something because I'm sure Tom Hardy wasn't going to sign on to a Venom movie blind.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Venom movie, you're playing Venom. Tom Hardy doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who's like, I'm a huge Venom fan, so I'm just going to sign on, right?
Yeah.
So
there must have been a plan in place for him to sign on, because there's no way he signed on for just one movie.
Yeah, so
either.
With Michelle Williams now added on, I'm sure they're getting all their ducks in a row, and maybe there'll be a press release where they explain what's going on, and like maybe they're like, we'll find that out. But it's exciting that they're getting more people to add on to this cast, and they're not like recasting Tom Hardy, like Tom Hardy drops out. That's a bad thing. It's a good thing when you start adding more big name Hollywood actors to a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm all about that.
Riz Ahmed was rumored to be in it too, from We Own the Night and Rogue One.
Oh yes, yep.
He was rumored to be in it. That was never confirmed or denied, I don't think.
I'm super curious about this Venom movie. I really am. Like I want to see Venom on the big screen. Again, I guess.
Yeah.
But I want to see him on the big screen, and for Tom Hardy to play him is a fucking dream come true, because Tom Hardy is one of the best actors working right now.
Yeah.
And I think he will absolutely destroy the role after what I saw him do with Bane. So I'm excited for this. I want to see a little more what's happening. I want to see how it fits. It doesn't have to fit into any universe. I'm not asking for it to fit like a perfect puzzle piece into the MCU, right? I just want it to be I want it to be its own badass movie.
Badass standalone movie.
Right, exactly. That's all I want. And I hopefully that's what they're working on, and hopefully we'll get a press release soon, and we'll be able to let our listeners know about more information about this, because I want it just as much as you do. So,
Amen.
Yes. So up next, Lord and Miller, known for the Lego Movie, they are in talks to direct Artemis, which is going to be Andy Weir's, technically his second book, even though I think he's written other smaller works that were self-published. But his first book was The Martian, this little old book that went on to be this gigantic movie starring Matt Damon, which was awesome, and the book was doubly as awesome. I have not.
That was part of our book club. Was that the first book in our book club?
I think so. I think that was the first adult book in our book club. I think you're right. I think it was that, and I think it was Ready Player One.
Yeah. Those two.
So Artemis, if I'm getting my facts correct, and please hit us up on Twitter if I'm wrong, it's being written right now. It's not even published yet.
That I don't know.
I'm gonna look this up right now. But
so while you're looking it up, for our viewers that may not have read the book, The Martian, the movie was really good. The movie was amazing. This is some big Matt Damon guy. I love the movie. Ridley Scott, he should win an award. His costume designer should win an award for making spacesuits, period.
Yes. Yeah.
But the book, the book The Martian was really, really interesting because of the way it was written. It was written as entries in Matt Damon's character's in his log, his journal, for his trip, and some were him writing to someone else, or he's writing to NASA, or there was a lot of trial and error that you saw in the book that you didn't get to see in the movie, which was really important to the story. Do you agree, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely.
So not to get too off on a tangent here, just the style of his writing was really engaging, and it kept you wanting to read more. Like, I couldn't stop reading. I think I read that book in 4 sittings. So I'm excited to check out and see what Artemis is.
So it's coming out on November 13th. So it's not even out yet.
Okay.
It's about this girl that lives in a small town on the moon, and she wants to escape from there. That's all the details they have for right now, but it's coming out November 13th. So in like a month. But this is crazy. So obviously, like you were just saying, huge success. The book, The Martian, and also the movie, obviously. So no wonder like Hollywood's already being like, all right, listen, we got these 2 prolific directors, and we're going to make this book into a movie immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw shooting sometime middle of next year, even though like The Martian was out for a while before it got picked up as a movie. Another little interesting piece about The Martian, it was originally Andy Weir started writing, doing just blog posts on a website. That's how the book began.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
And fact check through forums, didn't he?
Yeah, he talked to scientists, because it's very, like as you were saying, it's very technical. It's a very technical book, and it's not like so technical where you wouldn't understand what's going on, but it's like really cool because it it's science fiction, but it's just riding the line. Like he's dealing with concepts that are not, like anti-gravity. Like he's dealing with concepts that are that makes sense. In the perfect world, that could work. Like this would work. That generates heat. This generates water. Like that whole thing. So that's cool. So I'm really interested to see another book like that because he has a very unique mind. I think Andy Weir.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm excited for this book, and I'm excited for the movie.
So we're gonna have to do another book club, and add Artemis to the book club once it comes out, and read that because it'll be a movie before we know it.
Yeah. So Terminator 6 is coming summer of 2019.
Fuck yes.
Matt, I need you to fire up the freeze chamber for us.
I got it going.
Extra cold.
I got it going. Extra cold.
I wonder, isn't the date that Skynet goes live in August? I'm pretty sure it's like Tom's birthday.
It's August 27th. Right? Yeah. I think that's funny. I think we both realized that because you had it in your phone for so long in the calendar. I think we both realized we were like, oh, that's Tom's birthday. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this. Hopefully it will put the franchise back on track. Not that I like Terminator Salvation and I like Terminator Genesis, but everything we've heard so far points to this movie picking up somewhere in the more in the line with the Linda Hamilton movies, and who is consequently back. So that's exciting.
Yes.
I
mean, like you said,
it's unfortunate that the Rise of the Machines was the cap off to that trilogy.
Yeah,
because that movie's not good.
Yeah, it's not great. It really isn't. You're right. It's unfortunate. It sucks because that's the first one that we got that Linda Hamilton wasn't in.
Yep.
The first one, and then from then on she wasn't in them. But it just it didn't hit the way Terminator 2 is one of the all-time great sequels in movie history. I mean, it's Terminator. When someone's talking about Terminator, they're talking about Terminator 2. They're not talking about one. They're not talking about Salvation. Salvation and I haven't seen Genesis, but Salvation and Salvation has its own merits in its own right. And we're not discounting those. But like we're saying here, we want the franchise to get back on track. In order for it to get back on track, you need to get back to the Cameron days. You need to get back to Terminator 2. You need to get back to that storyline. Because technically, Salvation and Genesis are not getting it back on track. They were pretty much one-offs, especially now. Like we see, Genesis was definitely a one-off because their reboot and the whole thing, or at least going back a step. This move kind of reminds me of what Neil Blomkamp was going to do with Alien. Alien 5 was supposed to be, it comes after. I think it was supposed to be coming after Aliens or Alien 3.
Yeah, I think his intention was to because he was going to bring back Michael Biehn, who plays Hicks in Alien. So I think his intention was to forget 3 in Resurrection.
Yeah. So that it reminds me of that, but now you have someone who's one of the original creators of the guy who brought the franchise to where it is today, James Cameron, jumping back in the seat. Instead of someone else taking it. So now this it has a homey feel. You got Linda Hamilton back. You got Arnold back. Who knows who else will join the cast? But very exciting. Get the fucking freeze chamber. Very.
You know what? I hope we see. I hope we get to see the start of the war and because you don't really know. Correct me if I'm wrong now. How does Sarah Connor die? Right? She's just in Rise of the Machines. She's just dead.
She's dead. Yeah, she's dead.
And then in Salvation, she's been dead for a while because John Connor is a grown ass man.
Yeah. And
she's in Genesis.
Yeah. So I didn't see Genesis. So where does Genesis fit in with Terminator after Terminator 3? Does it at all?
Genesis starts Genesis basically starts where Salvation is. So John Connor's a grown-ass man. They're about to win the war.
Yeah.
Right? And then he sends Kyle Reese back. You see Kyle Reese get sent back in time.
Oh, so right.
He sends Reese back to the start of the original Terminator.
Yeah.
But she's not like a damsel in distress. She's a badass bitch at this point.
Yes.
So that's where the timeline gets all screwed up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited. Maybe it'll just be the fact.
I mean, don't not see Genesis if it's on. Like, check it out. It's still pretty good.
I still want to see it. I will eventually check it out once it's on something easy for me to watch, because I got so many other things that are on free streaming services for me to watch before I like go out and whatever. I got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming in the mail. I gotta watch that like 20 times on Blu-ray. Adam, come on.
You gotta burn a hole in it.
I gotta burn a hole in that Blu-ray. Speaking of Blu-rays, I got something exciting to tell you later about X-Men, but let's continue on here. So Denis Villeneuve, is that how you say his name? I've heard people say it a million different times. Villeneuve.
We need Sean.
I know we need Sean to make fun of us for pronouncing. But I looked this up. I looked this up, and people say it a bunch of different ways. So Denis Villeneuve is how I'm going to say it. He's the guy who directed Arrival, right? And he's also doing Blade Runner 2049.
Yep.
Okay. Apparently, he's circling a Cleopatra movie. You're going to have to fill us in on this because I don't know much about it.
So I just thought it was interesting because he's hot in the streets right now with
Super hot.
Blade Runner.
So hot.
And so this book is it's a hot topic too because the strong lead woman is like the thing to be in Hollywood right now, and Cleopatra is that, except thousands of years ago. So him circling this project seems pretty interesting to me, and I think at one point Angelina Jolie was attached to it.
Ooh,
I'm not sure.
I could get into that. That would be awesome. I love to see Angelina Jolie get back in more movies.
Yeah,
God
but
damn it.
I feel like she's too old to be Cleopatra because like the Egyptians
Were
all
young,
their
yeah,
rulers
super
were, like,
young.
15 years old.
Yeah, King Tut was like a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
famous
maybe
king.
she's too old to play it. You're probably right, but
It's exciting. It's exciting because we get to see another piece of film from this guy who's been cranking out nothing but hits. He did Prisoners too with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. Love that movie. That movie's awesome.
Yes, that is a great movie.
And then he also did that movie that you and I got psyched about called Enemy, where Jake Gyllenhaal basically meets his twin, but they've never met before.
Oh,
remember we saw that trailer?
Oh yes, I do.
We thought it just came out, but like it had been out for a few years.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I gotta look at that.
Yeah, we gotta get that on the movie club.
Yeah, seriously, that looked crazy. Yeah, I would like to see that. But yeah, he's on fire right now. And speaking of him,
Blade Runner 2049 is getting out of this world reviews, which is very encouraging. We're being rewarded for all of our early praise.
Yes,
it feels like
absolutely. I think this movie, Blade Runner 2049, was a very important sci-fi sequel to get right because of how good the original one and how much of a cult classic the original one is. It was very important for this one to get done correctly, and I think that it seems like it has. I listened to a podcast with Adam Savage, this guy from MythBusters. And he's a huge Blade Runner fan, huge sci-fi fan, but specifically Blade Runner. Like he's remade props from the movie, like to like exact specifications and stuff. And he got to see an early screening of it. He couldn't say anything because he's under embargo, but he was saying that he loved it and all this great stuff about it. So, and he's pretty tough with movies as well. He's kind of hard on movies, especially sci-fi movies. So,
yeah.
I'm pretty psyched for this. I'm very psyched for this. I think Ryan Gosling is a gem in Hollywood right now. He is. Yeah. His range is unbelievable. The last movie he was in, and I don't know if it was exactly the last movie, but the last movie he was in was Oscar nominated. You might know it, La La Land, where he tap danced and sung and played the fucking piano. He learned to play the piano, and now he's a fucking science fiction. He's a police officer hunting down robots in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, that's some range.
That is the definition of range. When you look up range in the dictionary, it's Ryan Gosling at a golf fucking like driving range. That it's right there. It's all together.
That's it.
I'm fucking psyched about it. I'm so excited about it. And for those of you who don't know, there's 3 shorts that they put out for Blade Runner 2049 that focus in on Jared Leto, Dave Bautista's character, which Adam Savage also gushed about Dave Bautista as an actor and how he acts when he's on set. and like how seriously he takes it as a profession, and that just makes me so happy because I like Dave Bautista. I thought he was one of my favorite wrestlers, and I love that he's like getting the due that he deserves in Hollywood. I think he's like legitimately like
being recognized for it, not just for being a wrestler. People forget that he was a wrestler.
And now, exactly, people know him as Drax instead of know him as the Batista Bomb Maniac. Like,
right?
You know, like that's awesome to me. I love that when guys like that can break the mold, especially a guy like him. Like, how do you typecast someone that looks like a fucking human mountain? Like, he's a massive human being. How do you break the mold on a typecast with him? It's tough. The Rock is still struggling because The Rock still plays like, you know what I mean. The Rock is The Rock. He's
guy.
He's not selective with his movies. You know, he's a great actor, and I love when he's in movies. But he's just he's the muscle. You know what I mean? He's a charismatic, muscly guy. And now it seems like Dave Bautista's kind of going into this. But anyway, I'm digressing a ton. I digress. 3 shorts are out. One focuses on Jared Leto. One focuses on Dave Bautista. And the third one is kind of like a mix between a little bit of all the characters. They don't give away anything. I wasn't sure if I wanted to watch them or not, but I read online about them, and they said it's fine to watch them. It won't destroy your like viewing experience at all. I've also heard that you don't need to watch the first one to watch Blade Runner 2049.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that it's a great standalone, and that there's gonna be not even Easter eggs, but there's gonna be callbacks that Blade Runner fans will get and will understand because you'll understand the universe, but it's not something that's necessary apparently, and they want to make that very apparent so that way people are not don't shy away from seeing it in the theaters. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, awesome. I'm excited. I'm gonna pick up these shorts.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
So next up, Kristen Stewart and Lupita. I don't know how to say her last name. She is Pats in 12 Years a Slave.
Yes, yeah. I couldn't even I couldn't even begin. You know who it is.
Right. She is circling. They both are circling the Charlie's Angels reboot directed by Elizabeth Banks. That's something interesting. I mean,
yeah.
We came out when the original Charlie's Angels movies came out. We were just a couple of middle school kids.
Yeah.
You know, loving Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu and Drew Barrymore kicking ass in tight outfits.
Yes.
But I think maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for a new one. They've been rebooting everything, so why the hell not?
Yeah, why not?
Kristen Stewart is like super under the radar to me. All I know of that she's in is Twilight.
Twilight, yeah.
Yeah, I saw American Ultra. She was in that. She was pretty good in that, but not good enough for me to be like, oh shit, she's awesome. She should be in more things.
Yeah.
And then Lupita, who is an Oscar winner.
Yes.
That's awesome, and she's gonna be in Black Panther too.
Yep.
Black Panther. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see her in that. So, get some. It seems like that's a premier, acting talent for something like Charlie's Angels. So that's if they land her, it seems like a good get, and start attracting people to the franchise again.
I'm assuming Kristen Stewart and Lupita are going to be cast as angels.
Probably.
So that I'm assuming they're waiting for the third angel, which those two so far interesting. I think my favorite part about this right now, or what they have so far, is that Elizabeth Banks is directing it. I fucking love Elizabeth Banks. I think it'll be really funny. I think it'll be like like how we enjoyed the Charlie's Angels movies from our childhood, like those movies. But I'm really curious to see how Lupita does in like a comedic role. Never seen that before. I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Kristen Stewart in that role, but I can more see her doing it than Lupita. Because like the thing I remember her most is for getting whipped as a slave. So,
Yeah. Gotta change that.
It's gonna be, gotta get that image out of my head. It's gonna be a little different now with Charlie's Angels. So that's cool. I like that. And then, like you said, why not? Why not make another Charlie's Angels movie?
Right, but I need Bill Murray back as Bosley.
Bill Murray? No, Bill Murray wasn't
Bill
Bosley.
He was Bosley in the first one, and
Wait.
then they replaced him with Bernie Mac.
Oh, right. Okay, I was gonna say, all right. I forgot that he was in the first one. I thought Bernie Mac was in both of them.
No, he was in the first one, and
Rest in peace.
Shia LaBeouf was in the second one too.
Oh yeah, that's right. And so was Oh, the Irish bad guy was the dude from like The
Oh,
Leftovers.
Justin Theroux.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thoreau, yeah. What about that?
Yeah. Star-studded cast, huh?
Demi Moore? Was she in the first one or the second one?
That's a good question. I think the
She
second
was
one.
the second one. Yeah.
Because she was one of the original angels, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Right. She was like she was an
all
old
when,
timer.
everyone was hot and bothered about, oh man, this woman, she's like fucking 45 years old and she looks great.
And she's dating Ashton Kutcher. Oh, it's awesome. Good for Ashton Kutcher. Yeah. Next up on the movie news list here, there's a book coming out. I think you would find this interesting, Adam. I know Sean would too. So, Sean, if you're listening close. So it's called Star Wars from a Certain Point of View, right? And I put title check, but that's actually what it is. I got turned on to this because I listened to this podcast called Kinda Funny Games Daily. It's a video game podcast done by Greg Miller and the Kinda Funny guys out in San Francisco. They had Gary Whitta on their podcast recently because he used to be a game designer, but we know Gary Whitta as the guy who wrote Rogue One. He is the guy who wrote the story Rogue One. So, this book is a bunch of different entries. I believe it's from the original trilogy, right? It's a bunch of different entries done by a ton of different authors, including Gary Whitta does a section where the story of Star Wars is told from characters that aren't the main characters. So the section that Gary Whitta writes, I believe, is done by the guy who's and I forget his name, but he's the general on the starship that Leia is on at the beginning of A New Hope when she gets captured. So he,
yeah, I can't remember the name.
Antilles, Captain Antilles.
Okay.
He tells the story through his eyes, but there's another author who tells the story from the stormtrooper that hit his head on the door.
Oh, really?
Yep. There's an author that tells the story of the monster who lives in the garbage compactor. It's hilarious. I mean, he went down the list and named a bunch of them, but it's coming out later this month. I'm definitely getting it. I'm definitely reading it. It's one of those it's canon. It's included in the Star Wars universe because it's just telling the story of Star Wars accurately, but different point of views. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. And so Gary Whitta has a section of it. He wrote a section of it through Captain Antilles' eyes, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And Gary Whitta is a cool guy. Listen to the podcast. Super interesting guy. Very down to earth. And he was kind of like, he was talking about Rogue One and whatnot, but very cool. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I have to check that out. Add it to my book list.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see what else we got here. So, A-list actor Bradley Cooper has been offered the role of Vince McMahon in the upcoming biopic.
Talk about the Freeze Chamber.
That is good news. Hopefully he accepts.
Yes.
How much money do you think they're gonna have to? They're gonna have to give him a controlling stake in Monday Night Raw for him to sign on for that.
I don't know. This might be something weird where there's a lot of hype with doing a biopic.
Yeah.
And if you do one right and you get the right person to portray, you could have an Oscar in your future. You know what I mean? Or at least like a few like nominations, right?
Yeah.
But Vince McMahon is a hot one. I mean, there's not many people that lived a life like Vince McMahon has.
Yeah.
And so
Still doing it.
What?
Still doing it too.
And still doing it, right? So for Bradley Cooper to jump on as Vince to play him in a movie about himself, I think that's fucking awesome. Awesome.
Hopefully that goes through.
I think you have to get, and I don't know who it is off the top of my head. I should have did my research. You got to get the guy who directed The Wrestler.
Oh yeah, I think
you got to get
that movie was awesome.
It was so real, and like that's backyard wrestling, and it's like very low wrestling. It's not super pro wrestling, you know what I mean, like WWE standards, but it really captured the atmosphere of being in a ring and being ringside and whatnot. I think you need someone like that with an eye like that for wrestling to do this movie. I would love to. When I first heard this, I'm like, it's tough for me to picture Bradley Cooper as Vince McMahon now because of how old he is. Like, he's an older guy now. But I can picture Bradley Cooper sitting ringside in that fucking the black jacket with the red sleeves, the Monday Night Raw jacket, right?
Yeah.
fucking
I can picture that.
and then also that fucking absurd suit that he used to wear, the tuxedo.
Yeah.
Right? I could picture that. I could picture that. I just need I need a Vince McMahon movie, of course.
I don't know if this is a WWE produced movie. I mean, I'm sure they'll have some part to do with it, but it would ultimately probably be for the better if WWE had less to do with it. They don't exactly put out Oscar award-winning movies, but
yeah, I agree.
The fact that they're reaching for the stars with this casting, like it doesn't get bigger than Bradley Cooper in Hollywood right now, right? Like,
no, it's
Bradley Cooper, Ryan Gosling, Tom Hardy, like those, Christian Bale, Robert Downey Jr., like all those guys are on the same level.
Right. I think that this story is also it's going to take more than just a character to play a really good McMahon. There's so many characters. There's a cast of characters around McMahon through his rise from the start of the WWE, taking over from his father and walking in his father's footsteps to now. Like you have like guys like Hulk Hogan who defined the sport. Yep. Right? You have guys like Andre the Giant, who is a larger-than-life personality. You have guys like, the late, great Bobby the Brain Heenan, who just passed away. You have guys like Ric Flair. Like, all these guys who are going to define this movie, like, all the chess pieces around McMahon, right? Yeah. You need to go into these characters, and I'm really interested to see who they get to play these characters, or if they're just like kind of like lookalike guys and like how much it's going to be. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this, and I'm very, very excited for seeing something on Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. For these supporting pieces, they're going to have to find actors to play people that play characters.
Exactly. And that play.
That'd be really interesting.
Yeah, so that's super interesting. I saw I have a documentary on DVD about Vince McMahon about the first time, like the first few WrestleManias he set up. Vince McMahon is a fascinating human being, and I really hope they do the story justice. I'm sure he will have a hand in what the script looks like, so I know we'll get an accurate description of what it was like. I just hope they do him justice with the acting. I hope Bradley Cooper does him justice if he gets picked, or if he signs on.
So the director of The Wrestler was Darren Aronofsky, who did that movie Mother that just came out, Black Swan, which we also mentioned in this podcast. Wow,
yes.
we're firing on all cylinders.
I know. Cool. Yeah.
The Wrestler, The Fountain, Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, Noah. So yeah, toss him a bone, see if he wants to do another wrestling movie. We're in.
Yeah, definitely in for that. Last up on our list is actually our hypothetical of the week. It's a bit of movie news. It's a bit of hypothetical of the week. So Die Hard is getting another movie. Bruce Willis is saying that this is the last Die Hard he'll do, which I think he said the last one was the last one he'd do, so we'll see. This one's called Die Hard Year One, or at least the working title is. Essentially what this movie is, it's going to be a mix of present-day John McClane, Bruce Willis, and a lot of flashbacks to when he first came on as a cop. So this should be pretty cool. Die Hard fans should be excited for this because we're going to get not just another ridiculous Bruce Willis movie. We're going to get someone new to like fill the shoes of John McClane. Adam, you are not a John McClane fan.
It's not that I'm not a John McClane fan. I've just never seen them.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
This is one of the movies that like when it comes up, I'm just like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, and just sort of I've been passing it off for years and years and years.
Yeah. I know. I don't know when I first saw. I think I first saw Die Hard with Sean. I think I went to like Hollywood Video one day and got like the 3-pack of the 3 original ones on DVD for like super cheap, and I think I watched them with Sean because I know we watched the first one and we were keeping a kill count for how many people John McClane kills, which it gets by the second one it gets absolutely ridiculous. It's like the Fast and Furious movies. They start as street racers, ended up as international criminals, like international assassins. Like that's what happens with Die Hard. He starts as a cop and then he turns into like fucking James Bond, like a redneck James Bond. Yeah, so they're good movies, and I like Bruce Willis. I've heard not so savory things about him. He's kind of a dick on set and whatnot. But so today for our hypothetical, let's go ahead and cast young Bruce Willis for year one. So Adam, who do you have for your young
I'll go
Bruce
first.
Willis?
So I picked two people. One person based mostly on I think he kind of looks like a younger Bruce Willis, just like the pronounced eyebrows, pronounced eyebrows and forehead, and he's an actor, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So my first pick was based on looks is Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know how to pronounce it, but anyways, he's playing young Han Solo. We suck at pronouncing on this show.
Yeah, we're not good at pronouncing names. Because all these people have all these fucking weird ass names, man. So many vowels and consonants.
People ruin our last names too.
That's true.
So he is playing young Han Solo in the upcoming Star Wars spinoff. I think he kind of looks like, Bruce Willis. So that would be an interesting pick. And my other pick, so I went around the same age, Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, yes,
He played Nux in Mad Max.
Yeah, and he's also Jesus. What else is he? He's also in X-Men.
Yep, Beast in X-Men.
Yeah. That's a really good one. I actually I picked. Do you ever see Looper?
Oh, I know what it's. I know what it's about. Isn't Joseph Gordon-Levitt the younger version of him?
Exactly. I picked Joseph Gordon-Levitt because I thought that movie was great, and I thought the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt were great, even though they probably won't be in the same scenes in this one. I think that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is already very believable as young John McClane, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw in Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The other one I picked, and this is going to be an odd choice, but I assume that when he's a younger cop, he has hair because in Die Hard 1, he has a little bit of hair. So I'm going with Chris Evans.
Really? Captain America?
Yes.
I'm in.
I'm in, right? I kind of like Chris Evans as like a young cop, even though he's kind of an older guy now. Like that's crazy for me to say. He's not old at all.
Like a young, seasoned cop.
Yeah, he's
new, but he's seen a thing or two. Maybe he's seen action in the military.
Sure.
I'm assuming John McClane has military training.
I don't know the exact backstory, but I believe that's correct. That he does have military training. But I think that Chris Evans would play a good young John McClane. So that's my pick for I'm assuming it's gonna have a big budget as well, so they'll be able to get Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be able to get Joseph Gordon-Levitt as well.
I've got to check how many of them are there? How many of them are
Jesus. There's fucking, oh my God. So the new one's going to be directed by Len Wiseman. He did all the Underworld movies, and also he did the last one, Live Free or Die Hard. So there's the original three, and then there's Live Free or Die Hard, and then there's A Good Day to Die Hard. Right?
Jeez.
I think that's it. I think there's 5. This is going to be the 6th one. So
wow.
I'm pretty sure. I believe it's A Good Day to Die Hard, and the 4th one is Live Free or Die Hard. That was like the one that they did after a while, after the original trilogy. Yeah, it's the fuck's his name?
Jai Courtney.
No.
It's not?
Wait, what's the name?
Jai Courtney?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I thought that. Oh, wait.
Him.
Yeah, sorry.
Good Day to Die Hard plays Jack McClane.
Sorry, I'm thinking of who's the guy who's in Tusk, and he's the cheerleader in Dodgeball. The fuck is his name? God, and he's also in that. He's also in that movie, Accepted. He's like the guy who puts it all together. The South Harmon Institute of Technology, the shit sandwiches.
Oh, Justin Long?
Yeah, Justin Long. Justin Long is in that too, but he's not his son. He's in one of the later ones. I don't know. I think this is going to be the 6th one. Len Wiseman is directing it. There's too many fucking to keep track of. I didn't see the most recent one. I saw Live Free or Die Hard. It was absolutely insane. Bruce Willis crashes a police car into a helicopter.
That's awesome.
He drives it underneath a bridge and hits a toll booth, but he dives out before it hits the toll booth, and it sends the cop car into the air and hits the helicopter.
That's insane.
Is that not fucking insane? All right, let's move on to what we're watching. Adam, let's start with you. What are you watching?
So I had myself a week, not a banner week, but I had a good week.
Okay.
I watched a couple movies, a couple TV shows. I'll start with a I'll start with just going on my list. So I watched Why Him with James Franco and Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
Funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, only like an hour and change, but somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours. And it was funny. It was like a lot raunchier than I thought it was going to be. And that's what made it. Like, you didn't see that in the trailers, how raunchy it was.
Yeah.
But James Franco's character was an animal. Swore, like he had no filter. It was great. And Bryan Cranston is just trying to be Bryan Cranston was trying to be like a straightforward stand-up dad,
Yeah.
And the son, who I thought was the funniest two characters was the kid, the son, Bryan Cranston's younger son, who's, somewhere in high school, I'd say like maybe a sophomore or junior in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He was really funny. Him and James Franco together, their interactions were really funny. And then Keegan-Michael Key
Yes.
of Key and Peele, he played James Franco's assistant / trainer, was hilarious in this movie. He was so funny. They did this
awesome.
Where James Franco is an internet billionaire, and he doesn't like having bodyguards around, so he has Keegan-Michael Key's character train him to protect himself. And like randomly throughout the movie, he'll attack him, and they'll have like random fight scenes and stuff. It's pretty funny.
I fucking love Keegan-Michael Key. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. Him and Jordan Peele, man. That show, those two guys together, they're hilarious. Even separately, they're hilarious.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I also watched The House with Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, and Rafi from The League.
Yes.
Really, really funny. That was under an hour and a half. Really fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it didn't get me by surprise like Get Hard did. I saw Get Hard on HBO or on Redbox, and I was crying. I had no idea that movie was that funny. This movie was really funny. It just wasn't. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
To get there, it would have needed more of Rafi being Rafi, but there were plenty of Rafi moments. Don't get me wrong.
Cool.
And then what's his face is in it too. Nick Kroll is in it too. He plays the bad guy, of course.
Yes.
So he was good.
Nice.
On the TV side of things, I finished season 2 of Rick and Morty. Hilarious.
Nice. Yeah, we talked about that.
Season 3 with you and Sean.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
I watched some more Will and Grace,
Nice.
and just I don't want to get into this too much because I talked about it before. A show before its time, man.
Yeah. I gotta go back and watch it.
Funny. It's gonna be one of those shows. Like I can see it going for a few more seasons, not just coming back for one.
Yeah, I always think about that. Like, I think about how many shows like start and then end. Like, you don't get a lot of shows like how Modern Family is going for like however many. You don't get a lot of that anymore. Like, they go into syndication and whatever. Like, I would like to see a show succeed. So for them to come back and like do another few seasons, that would be really cool.
Yeah, so I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
But the TV show I want to talk about is something I've been wanting to watch for about a year. I saw trailers for it after Stranger Things had aired, season 1.
Yep.
And the headline was sort of like, is this the next Stranger Things? Or are you done with Stranger Things? Check out this show. And it's called Channel Zero, and it's on Sci-Fi.
Okay.
And the first thing I noticed is, wow, I didn't know Sci-Fi had this type of production value.
Nice.
Because it was really well shot. The music was perfect. The main character is Mark from seasons 1. His name's Paul Schneider he played Mark Brandanowitz in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
First couple of seasons. Not a funny role to be in. Channel Zero is sort of like a thriller, horror anthology series, I guess, sort of along the lines of what FX does with American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite as over the top, but it has the pieces there. I saw a lot of potential in this show, and I enjoyed the first season. There was no it doesn't have the budget that American Horror Story has, and it, like I said, it doesn't go over the top like they do.
Yeah.
In a very great way. I mean, I love it. I'm not discounting American Horror Story. I love that fucking show. But Channel Zero, 6 40-minute episodes, definitely worth checking out. Season 2 is airing now. Different cast. I'm assuming same creepy vibe, but different cast, different story. So I'm excited to check that out. And I think you and Sean would be into it too.
Yeah, I want to check it out now. Now after you said that, I'm definitely gonna go check it out. You know why they have such good production value? They're getting all that fucking Sharknado money.
That's true.
Making a fucking 1,000 Sharknado movies get all that money. That's cool though. That's awesome. I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are you watching?
So I had a great week as well. So I finished Gaga 5'2", documentary on Netflix about Lady Gaga. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's a one camera documentary. It's very real. It's very like raw. And you're like right there with Lady Gaga as she's developing her latest album, which has the single song, which is the single is A Million Reasons, right? I think is the name of the song.
Oh, I don't know.
Shit. I wouldn't sing it now because I wouldn't do it justice.
Get it? My sources are telling me that that's what it is.
Thank you, Jen. So that's the album. She's writing that album, and she's finding out whether or not she's going to get the Super Bowl or not. It's very good, and it's also like her talking about her breakup with her fiance, he's on Chicago PD. Lindy tells me, my sources tells me he's on Chicago PD. I don't know this guy from like a hole in the wall, but apparently they were engaged and now they're not. So there's that in there too. So it's very real.
My sisters are telling me he's a very attractive man.
He is a very good looking guy. His eyes are piercing like a husky.
Piercing.
What is his name, Jen? Do you know his name?
I do. Hold on.
He's I actually started watching Chicago PD the other day. I don't recommend it. It's not that it's not a good show. It's fucking so sad. There's people just getting hurt and injured and catching on fire in every fucking episode. And people dying in hospitals. I don't need that in my life. I could do without it.
Jen said every episode is fucking tragic.
It's fucking tragic.
Rips your heart out.
It's like some kid was like trapped in a car, overturned, and he's like on fire, and the fireman saves him, and everything's good, and then come to find out like him and his dad were on their way to the Cubs game to like get the final autograph for like he has like every Cubs player's autograph on like baseball cards, and they all fucking burned up in the car accident. Like you think you get away with it, and then all of a sudden they fucking hit you with that. It's terrible. So I don't know. Gaga 5'2". Watched it. Definitely worth a look. Netflix is really firing on all cylinders. Good comedy specials, good documentaries, good original movies, decent original movies. So check it out. Speaking of their original content, I watched Neo Yokio. It's an anime done by Netflix, but it's an anime done for America, so it's not really a traditional anime.
Okay.
It's starring a bunch of voices I recognize, but the one that I know that I recognize because I looked it up, it's Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith.
Oh.
He's the main character. It's
that
about
maniac these days.
Dude, listen. This show is written like have you ever seen his tweets?
Yeah, they're insane.
Yeah, so it's basically written like his tweets were all like put together and then like created this show. So it's kind of weird, but it's also kind of amazing and cool and like really funny. He plays this character who his family heritage, like when they came to America way back in the day, they were people who could detect demonic beings and spirits. So they're like, basically they get called on whenever demonic spirits like show up and they're like exorcists. So he's like the exorcist in this city called Neo Yokio, which is essentially New York, but it's New York. It's old New York has like been flooded and is like underwater. So you can like still get there through like tunnels and whatnot, but the new city is built on top of it.
I see.
So that's cool. And he has like a mech butler, like a robot butler that he flies around on and shit. It's fucking weird. And he's like a single guy. So there's like in Times Square, new Times Square, there's like the thing called a bachelor board. And so he's like fighting with his arch enemy is called Archangelo. And he's fighting with him for the top spot to be claimed as like Neo Yokio's #1 most eligible bachelor. It's fucking hilarious. So I really like it. I think there's only like 8 episodes and they're like really quick. They're like 25 minutes or something like that. I think it's worth a look. I think it's worth a look to see if you kind of like, if you like it or not. There's like some good parts. I liked it. And I hope a season 2 comes. I also rewatched 21. I forget how much I love that movie. Have you ever seen it?
A long time ago.
So with
That's the one with Across the Universe guy and Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, it's Sturgis, right? Is his name?
Yeah, Jim Sturgis.
Jim Sturgis and Kevin Spacey and Josh Gad as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you look back and he's in it. But great movie, really like that movie. I also started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, dude. I'm fucking.
Yeah, I saw you were hot on Star Trek last week.
Dude, I am hooked. Hook, line, and sinker. I haven't.
Really?
Yeah, the only time I watched Star Trek was with Rob Emma, and we got super high, and we watched Deep Space Nine, which is the one that comes chronologically. So it goes. The new Star Trek that's on CBS is called Discovery with the girl from Walking Dead.
Yep.
That comes first. Then you have the Star Trek with Kirk and Spock. It's what the hell is his name? William Shatner, right? Then you have Next Generation, which is Leonard Nimoy. Not Leonard Nimoy, sorry. Jean-Luc Picard, who is Patrick Stewart. Then you have Deep Space Nine. So me and Rob watched an episode of Deep Space Nine. We were ridiculously super high. And so we watched Deep Space Nine. I couldn't comprehend a fucking thing. So I was like, maybe Star Trek's not for me. But I was like, I want to revisit it. So I started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation because I'm a big Patrick Stewart fan. And I fucking love it, man. Every episode is like a new science fiction sci-fi journey. I fucking love it. So I highly recommend it. It's super, at times it's super corny, but I think that's the charm to it as well. So
yeah,
I like that. Will Wheaton's in it. A very young Will Wheaton is in it. Oprah is apparently in it. Not Oprah. Whoopi Goldberg is in it, but I haven't met her yet. And a bunch of other characters that we know from Hollywood now, that got their start there. So
wow,
pretty cool. Very exciting stuff. The last thing I want to talk to you about, Adam, and this is a little bonus for the episode. I did not watch this, but I was perusing Best Buy the other day, and I came across this special edition of X-Men First Class. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's called the Rogue Cut. Do you know?
Rogue? Oh, I have seen that. Yes, I'm sorry, I have seen it.
So
it's
apparently,
where they go back to while they're in the future, right? They go back to Professor X's house, and Rogue is being held hostage.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
And they get her back to take the strain off of Kitty Pryde.
Yes. Isn't that fucking awesome? I had no idea this existed.
What? Tell them what? Oh yeah, Jen and I were watching it one day, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?"
So you've seen it?
New shit. Yeah, I've seen it. They're trying to sneak all this shit in on us. When did this happen?
Yeah, I'm psyched about watching this now. I had to go online and read about it. So I'm wondering. I'm looking at I'm actually have my X-Men First Class DVD in my hand right now. I'm trying to see if that is in here, but I don't think it is. That's kind of horseshit.
Wow.
I don't think it is, but I need to go back. I wish now because I didn't buy it. It was only $5, which is stupid. I should have. It might as well be free. I should have bought it, but I didn't get it because I thought that my X-Men First Class Blu-ray it was a special edition one, would have it on there, like the extra scenes. That's all I want to see. I just want to see the extra scenes. But
yeah,
I thought that was fucking awesome. I didn't realize that was a thing, so that's cool.
Yeah, Rogue actually plays a decently big part in the movie, and
absolutely
original, the theatrical cut.
Yeah, so if you're a big fan of X-Men First Class like we are, it's one of the best X-Men movies, go and check that out. That's pretty fucking cool. So I think that's gonna do it for today. Let's wrap up here and let's go right into Movie Club, where we're gonna be talking about the Lost City of Zed. Are we gonna say it correctly, or are we just gonna?
No, Lost City of Z.
Z? Okay. We're gonna talk about the Lost City of Z. So until next week, I'm Matt.
I'm Adam.
Have yourselves a week.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.